Hi everyone, Shirtlad here. Assuming that you've played any of the SD Gundam G Generation games released after the SNES era, especially G Generation Genesis, Spirits, F, Wars, Overworld, Zero, Portable and World, there's a good chance you've encountered this rather uncanny sight of a Saikoro Gundam head sitting on a 6-sided dice. The Saikoro Gundam is a colossal oddball of a mobile suit from one of the first SD Gundam games. SD Gundam Gashapon Senshi Scramble Wars, sporting a whopping price tag of 5,500 coins, or 5,700 coins in the sequel, and a decent loadout, even considering the limitations of the hardware. The machine's name is a pun on the Japanese word for dice, since the word in question is Saikoro, bearing more similarities to the Saikoro Gundam's Saikoro Gundam pronunciation. In its initial appearance during the late 1980s within both Scramble Wars and its 1989 sequel Capsule Senki, the Saikoro Gundam was listed as Psycho-G, alluding to its progenitor from Murasame New Type Labs. However, the flavor text in the second game does clarify that this is not the MRX-009 Saikoro Gundam. Notably, its depiction in the second Gashapon Senshi game additionally gives it a megaparticle cannon on top of missiles and beam guns of its predecessor. After these two installments on the NES, the Dice of Doom had to wait over a decade, after the game SD Gundam G Generation F on the PlayStation brought it back. Mind you, I am going by the official JP Wiki on this, so if it did pop up earlier, I wouldn't know. At the moment I don't have enough hours in G Generation 98 nor Zero. That being said, it did become a recurring staple of the home console and some handheld G Generation installments, popping up in SD Gundam G Generation Portable, Spirits, Wars, the duo of World and Overworld, as well as the 2016 game SD Gundam G Generation Genesis. Generally speaking, in these games the old dice-shaped Devastator is a very mobile unit which packs missiles and a scattering beam cannon, which is fired from the side that has a single red dot in the middle. In most of its appearances, it also shares the Saikoro Gundam's anti-beam barrier, or an eye field. Since Cross-Race, unlike its G-Gen Wars predecessor, mostly stuck to AU only, DLC Siskade and G-Gen original units notwithstanding, that was pretty much it for the cubical menace in as far as Gundam grid strategies go. Or was it? You see, the G-Generation series wasn't the only one to feature the Saikoro Gundam. Over on the GameCube, the game SD Gundam Gashapon Wars from 2005 had it in its full 3D glory, with the unit itself being a 7-star red scissor type unit, sporting beams and missiles, coupled with a somewhat slapstick melee moveset. In the early to mid-2010s, the machine also got featured in SD Gundam Online, a game I didn't get to play, and while it doesn't look like something that would be up my alley, I would have been interested in it, at least as far as the novelty of it goes. Oh well, if I did manage to find any clips of the Saikoro Gundam in that game, it should be playing in the background in this very moment. Regardless, in spite of its goofy physique, this absolute unit did definitely leave quite the legacy behind it. Now, given the nature of its introduction, the 6-sided skirmisher didn't get much of a lore background in its second appearance. However, the later games did give it more flavor text. I'll be covering the flavor texts it has in Gashapon Wars and the G-Gen games. To be specific, I took the liberty of translating the ones from Gashapon Wars and the ones shared between the G-Gen AF Portable World, and I'm pretty sure both Spirits and Wars has the same text as well. The flavor text in Gashapon Wars more or less claims that this is not a Saikoro Gundam. It's a giant dice-type Saikoro Gundam, which sports high performance in battle in spite of its comical appearance, earning it the nickname of the Cubical Grim Reaper, or the Square Grim Reaper. In the G Generation games, the text does retread similar ground, asserting that the so-called Saikoro Gundam is a deformed version of the Saikoro Gundam, packing enough destructive power to give the former a run for its money. An encounter with the Dice Gundam means certain death, leading many to bestow it with the moniker I mentioned earlier. Same goes for the unit's description in Genesis, which is pretty much a more concise version of the description above, although this time the nickname is Death Cube. So, that is the long and short of what many call the D6 of Destruction. It's an unapologetically goofy design from the late 80s, which then got revived to continue rolling around and wreaking havoc once again. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed this one. If I may briefly divert your attention towards the like and subscribe buttons, consider it done. Regardless, have a good one. This is Shirtlad, signing out.